everybody, it's Tara Bryan, and you are listening to the Course Building Secrets podcast. Whether you're a coach or a CEO, the success of your team and clients is based on your ability to deliver a consistent experience and guide them on the fastest path to results. This podcast will give you practical, real-life tips that you can use today to build your online experiences that get results and create raving fans. Why? So you can monetize your expertise and serve more people without adding more time or team to your business. If you're looking to uncover your $1 million framework, package it, and use it to scale, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Everybody, so over the next couple episodes, what I'm going to do is give you my top learnings from Funnel Hacking Live 2022 that just happened. And so I love doing these sort of compilation episodes because it helps to solidify what I learned, and it also helps me share with you some of my key takeaways. So the very first thing that I want to share is near and dear to my heart. You guys have heard me talk about it a ton, but I want to give you a little bit of behind the scenes because even when I talk about this stuff, I also fall into the trap a lot of times when that I'm kind of teaching you guys. One of the things is sort of claiming your expertise. And so the thing around claiming your expertise is typically what your expertise is, what your superpower is the thing that's so easy for you that you don't even know that it's valuable, right? But it's the thing that a lot of times people come to you for. Come to you, they ask you questions, you're able to just easily answer their questions, which, you know, you're like, oh, doesn't everybody know this? Like, this just seems like it's a super easy thing, right? So think about that when you're kind of framing out your expertise. Because one of mine, and this is sort of my sharing for you, is one of mine is in frameworks. And so I have this superpower where I can see paths very clearly. So if somebody's identifying like what their expertise is and kind of who they want to help and what problem they solve, I have the ability to sort of dive in and create a framework or a process for them. It's like all of a sudden it's like a puzzle that doesn't have any picture on it, right? And I can just put it together, and it's very easy for me. And I love doing it, right? Like for me, and don't tell anybody, but I love doing it so much that I would just do it for free all the time, right? Because it's the thing that that I love and I'm passionate about, and then it becomes easy. So a lot of times people ask me questions about it, or like, oh, I'm just struggling with how to, you know, kind of organize this and get it off my head. And again, falling into my own trap is that I don't realize necessarily that it's my superpower until I sit down and go, oh yeah, that's the thing, right? And anyway, so I'm at FHL, and the first speaker comes on, Brooke Castillo, and she literally spends the first 20 minutes of her talk talking about frameworks. And I almost fell on the floor because for me, I don't think that's the thing I can like teach on and to sort of claim as my superpower, right? For me, a framework is the first step to a larger sort of goal of packaging your expertise into a program. And so for me, I was like, oh my gosh, what? People value this enough to be on stage in front of 5,000 people? Yes. So that's a little bit of my behind the scenes where I just literally was floored that this could be something that I could go out and lead with. So with that, I will tell you that I am like, you know, antsy to do something around framework. So you may see something soon. But here's the deal. Let me just give you a little bit of a sense for framework and what it is. Basically, a framework is a map or a process that you're creating in terms of how you help somebody go from where they are today to where they want to go, right? So when you're building your business, you're building your expertise business around a problem that you can solve. So it's not like giving them all of your expertise and all the things you know and like all the things. It's focusing in on what is the problem that you solve and how do you help somebody get results based on the problem that they have, right? So they're coming to you with a problem. So that's where they're starting. And then you're going to take them on a journey to give them the transformation of achieving that goal, right? And so you're pulling them through from point A to point B. What's in between there is your proprietary framework. And basically all that is the way, and a lot of times the unique way that you take them on that journey. And so we think about that as steps along a path. And so the path becomes, okay, so somebody is here. What is the first step that they need to take on their journey to ultimately get to that result, right? So then you look at the first step, and you look at the second step, and then you look at the third step, and then you keep going until they achieve that result. So it's really breaking down the parts and pieces that help somebody get to where they want to go, and not in information, but in action. And so if you think about it, like you think about a success path, you think about the steps. The steps are pulling them forward. So you're actually like moving from one to another. And if they're not moving from one step to another, then you're putting in too much information, right? Because learning isn't a passive activity. If you want somebody to get results, they actually have to take action. So how do you put them in action? Make it a step-by-step framework. And so the framework is really those steps in between. That's your own unique way of doing it. So somebody may have the same exact topic that you do, and a different framework, which is awesome because that gives you that unique voice to say, here's how I give you the fastest path to results. And the fastest path to results is defining your framework. Then you want to give your framework to your people. You want to tell them that there is an approach that you have that gets them step by step to where they want to go. You can give it a name. You can call it your own proprietary framework, whatever you want to call it, but it's the path that you give them. Adult learners like to see the big picture, and the big picture is that path. The beauty of having your own framework is that then you can take your framework and apply it in so many different ways. You could create a book. You could create a mastermind program. You could create an online course. You could create a live event. You could create all sorts of things with this proprietary framework. So it becomes the base or the foundation of your business and the way that you help people get from point A to point B to solve their problem. Now, the fun thing about this is that each individual program that you put together, or each individual problem that you solve, if you want to think about it that way, has its own framework. So within your business, you could have multiple frameworks depending upon what problem it is you're trying to help someone solve. Because as you know, like once you've solved this problem, then another one pops up, and then another one pops up. And so that's how you continue to build your business, by taking your people on a journey to help them solve the problems through your proprietary frameworks that you can take them on. And so I was just so delighted that she was talking about frameworks, and it was almost strange because it was almost verbatim the way that I talk about it. There's a couple of differences, but it was fun because she had a lot of similar examples that she uses as she's talking about frameworks. And the key to remember is it's your own proprietary process of how you help somebody solve a problem from where they are to where they want to go. And you want to simplify it as much as possible, like 3 or 4 steps. There may be sub-steps in between your steps, if that makes sense. It's a little meta, but what's the process that you take them through, and how do you make it understandable? How do you simplify it? And really help somebody believe that like there is a way to get from where they are to where they want to go, and that you have the solution for them. That is really the essence of your framework. So that was sort of my big behind the scenes moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is something that people value and something that is essential to the foundation of your business. And it just also happens to be my superpower. So when you're thinking about your framework, really, again, dive in and see what's coming up for you. Like at first, it's sort of just about getting it all out of your head, and then you can start to put it into buckets. And the buckets provide you with the framework, the big look at what it looks like to go from point A to point B. And you can put it into 3 or 4 or 5 different big steps that help people see that, oh, I do this and then I go here and then I go here. One pro tip I want to give you around this is each of the steps should start with a verb, because remember, we're trying to put them in action to move them from where they are to where they want to go. So start each one of your steps with an action verb. Sometimes people get confused and they worry about making it an acronym or making it into something. But the most important part is that it's actionable, and so they know that there's like a thing that they need to do to get to that next step. Then play with the wording and do all of the things. In the event, later on, I was talking to someone about her framework, and I was giving her a little bit of advice, and she had 3 steps in her framework. And what we determined after sort of looking at it was that one of her steps was actually an outcome. It wasn't an actionable step that went to a different outcome. She was actually had the outcome in one of her steps. So we rearranged it slightly so each one of the steps was within sort of the beginning to the what they wanted to achieve, right? Move that to the outcome, and then 3 actionable steps that they took to get to that outcome. And so it was just a slight change, but if you start with a verb, it puts you into thinking, what do they need to do to get to the next step? And it focuses in on what's that action, what's that thing that they need to do to get to the result. Sometimes you can do A plus B plus C equals D, right? So if you want to do it a math equation, that's how you look at it. So if you do this, if you do this, if you do this, that will equal the result. And so look at it from that perspective, and then you can get fancy with the names and do all the things afterwards. But that will help you determine what your proprietary framework is. So there you go. That is my course building tip for today. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, are you a business owner ready to streamline and scale your business? Imagine solving the biggest business challenges with clarity, a strategy, and a clear plan. Hey, I'm Bryan, and I want to invite you to take the first step towards transforming your business with a free 30-minute discovery call. This call is an opportunity to discuss your goals, identify key challenges, and learn how my mentorship program can help you achieve the success you're aiming for. In just a half hour, we'll explore how you can scale your business by enhancing your authority strategy, engagement strategy, and retention strategy. You'll get personalized advice and a clear path forward. Ready to take the first step? Click on the link below that's in the show notes to book your free discovery call now. I hope to talk to you soon.